what that means is, you two are already doing it. It means that you gotta raise your hand, and you have to be sitting on your pockets, and you have to have a bubble in your mouth. Because if you wanna get picked, we're gonna have a moment where our actors are gonna open box on stage, or if something goes wrong on stage, anything along those lines. And then lastly, I already kind of covered it, but
say a song for 1,000 years. Say a song for 1,000 years. The hills fill my heart with the sound of music. My heart wants to sing every song it hears.
The Sound of Music opened on Broadway in 1959. The musical tells the true story of Maria Kuchera, a young tomboyish girl with a great passion for music and education.
The show was developed from a book that Maria herself wrote, titled The Story of the Trapp Family Singers. Today we'll be presenting a small piece of that musical for you, as well as sharing how it differs from the real-life story.
Maria's story of adventure and adversity is set to the music of Rodgers and Hammerstein, and we will need your help to tell it.
My heart wants to beat like the wings of the birds that rise from the lake to the trees. My heart wants to sigh like a chime that flies from a church on a breeze, to laugh like a brook as it drips and falls over stones in its way, to sing through the night like a lark who is learning to pray. I go to the hills when my heart is lonely. I know I will hear what I've heard before. My heart will be blessed with the sound of music, and I'll sing once Now, Maria lived a whirlwind of a life, starting on the very night that she was born. On January 26th of 1905, Maria was born on a train traveling to Vienna, Austria. However, she was orphaned at a really young age and grew up in a really strict household. But Maria loved music. Her passion for music would go on to define who she became as a woman, and would even one day end up saving the lives of her entire family.
Our musical takes place in the year 1938. That's just 1 year before World War II. But the actual events that transpired took place in the year 1926 in the country Austria. Now, Austria is a very far away country. In fact, it is even on a completely different continent than the one we are on right now. Would you please raise your hand if you think Austria is in Asia? Raise your hand if you think Austria is in South America. Now raise your hand if you think Austria is in Europe. You are all correct. Austria is a country within the continent of Europe. It borders the countries of Germany and Italy, much like how the United States is a country within the continent of North America. Now, it might seem strange, but the language they primarily speak in Austria is not Austrian, but German. And we're gonna learn a little German right now. Would you all please repeat after me? Everyone say, Hallo?
Hallo.
Wie geht's?
Wie geht's?
Ich liebe Gherkin. Good job. You have all just said hello, how are you, and I love pickles. But luckily for us, this musical is written in English.
The location of the scene, or what you might call the setting, is the Benedictine Abbey of Nürnberg. An abbey is a religious community where women would go to live their lives as nuns. Maria entered the abbey to become a nun. There she would live a life full of meditation and prayer for the sake of others. But this was not an easy adjustment for Maria. She found it difficult to obey so many rules and often found herself in some sticky situations. The mother abbess, who oversees all the nuns in the abbey, visits with Maria about her behavior.
How do you solve a problem like Maria? How do you catch a cloud and pin it down? How do you find a word that means Maria? A flippity-gibbet, a will of a wisp, a clown. Many a thing you know you like to tell her. Many a thing she ought to understand. But how do you make her stay and listen to all you say? How do you keep a wave upon the sand? Oh, how do you solve a problem like Maria? How do you hold a Maria, it seems to be the will of God that you leave us.
What? Mother, please, don't make me go. This is my life. This is what I want.
Maria, these walls were not meant to keep out problems. You have to live the life that you were born to live. Now there is a family near Salzburg in need of a governess, and the...
Can you remind me what governess is?
Perhaps I can help from our friends. Right, cool. Looks like most of you. So a governess was basically just a babysitter, but they would live with the family they were taking care of. So they would oversee the education and upbringing, like up close and personal on the everyday. Maria, the captain's wife recently passed away, so you will be looking after his 7 children for the length of 8 months until he remarries. After that time, you will return to your life here at the Abbey.
The next setting is the Villa Trapp, where Captain Von Trapp and his 7 children live.
I am Captain Von Trapp. You are Fräulein.
Oh, Maria.
Now, Fräulein, on your duties, you will be in charge of my children. There are 7 of them. You will see how far they've progressed in their studies and carry on from there. You will spend each morning in the classroom, and each afternoon they will march. And you will see that at all times they conduct themselves with decorum and orderliness. The first rule in this house is discipline.
Yes, sir.
Where are the others?
I thought you had them.
Okay,
actually lose them?
here's his eldest, his daughter Liesel, that's 1, and I'll be playing Friedrich, that's 2, but aren't there more Von Trapp children? Do you remember how many? 7! Oh, that's right, 7. Now we need 4 girls and 1 boy to help us out, so raise your hand quietly if you want to join us on stage. Let's see.
Now, children, this is your new governess, Fräulein Maria. Fräulein Maria, these are the children. This is Liesel, the eldest. She is 16 years old. Over there is Friedrich, who's 14 years old. Right there, that's Louisa, who's 13 years old. And Kurt, Kurt's almost 11. Brigitte is 9. Marta is 7. And here is our littlest, Gretel. I will now leave you with the children. You will learn their signals and call them when you need to. You are now in command.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know how to address you.
You will call me Captain. Actually, I'm sorry. Could I ask you a question? Are we sure that the captain is supposed to be like this stern? Because doesn't he seem kind of mean?
You know, it's actually probably good that you brought that up. Because, yes, when the real-life Von Trapp children saw this production for the first time, their only complaint was that the character portrayal of the captain was completely wrong. He was actually a really kind and loving man in real life. One of his daughters even wrote that she cried during the production because it broke her heart to see him portrayed in such a way. But for dramatic purposes, the writers wanted to make him seem more cold and heartless. So you're doing just fine.
Okay. Well, in the musical, the captain just forbidden music in the household because it reminded him so much of his late wife. So when Maria showed up singing a kind of music that the children had never heard before, well, they were captivated.
Fräulein Maria, what are you doing?
Humming a song? Haven't you ever heard anyone hum a song before?
We don't know any songs like that.
You don't? Well, at least now I know where to begin. Can everyone start by please repeating after me? The do, re, mi. Do, re, mi. I think we're ready. Let's start at the very beginning. A very good place to start. When you read, you begin with
A, B, C.
When you sing, you begin with do, re, mi.
Do, re, mi.
Do, re, mi. The first three notes just happen to be do, re, mi. Do, re, mi. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. That was pretty good. Let's see if I can make it even easier, huh? Do, a deer, a female deer. Re, a drop of golden sun. Mi, a name I call myself. Fa, a long way to run. So, a needle pulling the thread. La, a need to follow. Ti, a king of gingerbread that will bring us back to do. Now I'm going to test your repetition skills even further, yeah? I'm going to point at myself and sing what's called a musical phrase, and when I point at you, I need you to sing it back to me. Capiche? Wonderful. For all my friends on stage, when I point my beautiful magic princess ribbon wand at you, you're going to push your sign out like this. All right, let's try it like this. Beautiful work. Let's begin. So, do, la, fa, mi, do, re. Your turn. So, do, la, fa, mi, do, re. So, do, la, ti, do, re, do. So, do, la, ti, do, re, do. Then God notes to sing. You can sing most anything. Your turn. When God knows to sing. Wonderful. You can sing most anything. All right. Does that look right to you? No. You guys are silly, I'll give you that. All right, can you guys help me out? And on the count of three, yell out what note goes right there. 1, 2, 3. Do. Wonderful work. Now, which one of you has do up here? Liesel. Can I have you come down to the bottom here, and Friedrich, I'll have you get to the end of our scale. Now that we have the bottom and the top of our scale established, what we're going to do as a team is sing through the scale from the bottom to the top, starting at do. I know we have some choir kids in here if you want to help show off your solfege hand symbols. If you don't know them, you can just follow along with me, okay? We're going to start here at do. Ready? Do. Re is right. Can I go ahead and switch re and mi, pretty please? All right, let's try it again from do so we don't all get confused, right? Let's begin. Do, re, mi, fa. So is so right. And so can I please switch your positions? Gonna trade? Perfect. All right, one last time. I think we've got this thing figured out by now. Let's begin at do. Ready? Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. Bonus points? Do. Give yourself a round of applause.
But it doesn't mean anything.
What do you mean it doesn't mean anything, Liesel? That's why we add words. I know you guys know it. Do, a deer, a female deer. Re, a drop of molten sun. Mi, a name I call myself. La, a love way to run. So, I'm putting the ring. La, a love for the sun. Ti, a turn the ring. That will bring us back to do. Ready?
Take a bow,
Can I get a
everybody.
big round of applause for my wonderful long here? Back to your seat. Thank you, guys. Can I get one more round of applause for all my wonderful volunteers? So did you guys know that all of the songs we hear in The Sound of Music were written by two guys named Richard Rodgers and Oscar Hammerstein? In real life, though, the Von Trapp family didn't sing these songs at all. They weren't even written yet. The Von Trapp family often sang traditional German folk songs and played their own instruments at the same time.
And while the captain discouraged the singing in the musical, in real life, that was not the case. The real Von Trapps actually sang often, so much that they even received dozens of contracts to perform professionally. But for a man of his position, it was seen as disgraceful to perform in public and to have one's family put on display. So all of these contracts were tucked away, safe in a scrapbook.
Now, Rodgers and Hammerstein, the two writers that you just heard about, would often structure their musicals so that there was a primary romantic couple, in this case, Maria and Captain Von Trapp, as well as a secondary romantic couple. So this other coupling would be between the eldest Von Trapp child, Liesel, and a boy named Rolf, who delivered telegrams. Now, we don't really use telegrams anymore, but basically you think of them like an instant message or an email, but before computers were invented. That's basically a telegram. Oh, hello, Rolf.
Liesel,
Yes.
can I see you again tomorrow night? How old are you, Liesel?
16. What's wrong with that?
You are 16, going on 17, baby. It's time to think. Better beware, be canny and careful. Baby, you're on the brink. You are 16, going on 17. Fellows will fall in line. Eager young lads and boys and cats will offer you food and wine.
Totally unprepared am I to face a world of men. And scared am I of things beyond ken. I need someone older and wiser telling me what to do. You are 17, going on 18. I'll depend on you.
You need someone older and wiser telling you what to do. I am 17, going on 18. I'll take care of you.
While the captain frowned upon his daughter meeting with a boy,
Sorry.
Rolf actually represented a much larger threat. You see, Rolf was a member of a growing party in Germany called the Nazi Party, and they wanted to move into Austria and abolish the freedoms that the captain fought for in World War I.
Now, Rolf was just a character created for the musical. In real life, the eldest Von Trapp child wasn't actually in love with a telegram delivery boy. In fact, the eldest Von Trapp child wasn't a girl named Liesel at all. He was a boy.
That's right, the names and ages of the children were changed for the musical.
Now, in the musical, we see that Maria is one of a long line of women hired to care for the children. And this was true for real life, because she was actually the 26th woman hired. She fell in love with the children at first sight and treated them as her own. She was unlike any governess they'd ever had.
In the musical, you see this bond develop during a thunderstorm, which scare all the children into Maria's room, where she comforts them by singing about her favorite things.
Ooh, speaking of thunderstorm, I think I'm hearing some thunder now. All right, it looks like it's about time for us to sing our next song, and we're going to need some of your help. So raise your hand if you want to come up on stage, and we're going to call them the quietest people. Okay, so keep your hands up if you like kittens. How about you in the blue sweatshirt? Come on up. Keep your hands up if you like puppies. How about you in that blue shirt? All right, keep your hands up if you like flowers. This is always the hardest part. Let's see, how about you in the front? And you in the, you've got a sweatshirt on, I think it says Red River. Yes.
Number. Thank you, though. Now, for all my friends on stage, I think we're good spaced out. Can you guys do me a favor? And if you're brave enough, raise your hand and share with me one of your favorite things on the whole planet. Ooh, what about you, Friedrich?
I love giraffes.
You love giraffes? I love that. Do you want to share something? That's okay. That'd be fine. I love reading. You love reading? That's a good one. What about, do you want to share something? That's okay. What about you, friend? You love sledding? I love that. Math? Oh, that's a good one. And what are you, friend? Football. Okay, what about you, Hazel?
I love ice cream.
You love ice cream. Danny, do you have a favorite thing?
No.
You like Dr. Pepper a lot.
Dr. Pepper is pretty great.
Well, if you guys are interested, some of my favorite things are raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens, bright copper kettles and woolen mittens, brown paper packages tied up with strings. These are a few of my favorite things. All right, if you guys can follow me, we're going to start with our ribbons to the left. Cream-colored ponies and crisp apple strudels, doorbells and sleigh bells and tinsel with the wings, while geese that fly with the moon on their wings. These are a few of my favorite things. Now we're going to walk in place and switch our ribbons like a skirt. Girls in white dresses with satin sashes, snowflakes that stay on my nose and eyelashes, silver white winters that melt into spring. These are a few of my favorite things. And in the dark nights, when the bee stings, when I'm feeling sad, I simply remember my favorite things, and then I don't feel so bad. We finished. Yeah,
Take it back,
can I get a big
everybody.
round of applause for all my dancers? Beautiful, beautiful. Back to your seats. Thank you, friends. Can I get another big round of applause for all my wonderful volunteers? Ah. It can be kind of scary to go up and perform in front of people you know, right? It's kind of always scary to try something new, isn't it? Yeah. And for Maria, it was scary leaving the Abbey, where she felt safe and comfortable and at home, right? to go live in this big house with this kind of stern Navy captain and his 7 adorable kids, played by you all, of course. Speaking of which, when does Maria go back to the Abbey in the story?
Well, actually, things turned out for Maria a little differently than she expected.
What?
Maria returned to the Abbey, but not to continue being a nun.
Oh.
Instead, Maria returned to the Abbey to get married!
Oh, married?
Yeah!
Okay, who do I marry?
Come on, who do you think?
Oh, do you guys think it was the captain?
That's right. You see, the children loved Maria so much that they wanted her to stay with them forever. When they told this to their father, he thought that the best way to convince Maria to stay was to marry her.
Well, you see George and Maria falling in love in the musical before they get married. In real life, the real reason Maria stayed with the captain was so she could stay with the children and continue being their mother. But as she would later write in one of her books, Maria would grow to love the captain more than she would ever love anyone else.
So Captain Von Trapp and Maria got married in the same abbey where the story began. The nuns that she had once lived with were now her bridesmaids, and Maria wore a veil of Edelweiss. But what is Edelweiss, you might ask? Well, let me tell you. Edelweiss is a plant with small white flowers found in remote mountain areas in Europe, like in the Alps. In the musical, the song Edelweiss is a symbol for the captain's love and loyalty for his country of Austria. And it was the last song that Oscar Hammerstein would ever write. The uproar caused by Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party would eventually spark World War II, which began in September of 1939. An estimated 60 million people lost their lives, including 6 million Jews, as a result of the Holocaust.
Due to the unrest caused by the Nazi Party, the Von Trapps would later decide to leave Austria.
They packed up a few of their belongings to make it look like they were going on a hiking trip through the mountains and then left Austria by train. This means that they didn't actually escape by climbing over the Alps, as you would see in the movie. The next day, the borders to Austria were closed.
A once very wealthy family was now poor and couldn't go home to their country. But if you remember that scrapbook the captain had packed full of those valuable singing contracts, well, he brought it with them. And so the family embarked on a concert tour throughout Europe, performing and saving up as much money as possible, until they only had one contract left. And it was here, in the United States of America.
The Von Trapps would later establish themselves in Stowe, Vermont, building a resort that you can still visit to this day. And George and Maria would even go on to have 3 more children for a total of 10. And one Von Trapp child still lives to this day. His name is Johannes. He'll be 86 this year.
The Sound of Music played on Broadway for 1,500 performances. It won 6 Tony Awards, including Best Musical.
Thank you guys so much for being such an awesome audience today. But first, we have to thank some super important people. That's going to be the Dr. Elliot and Pam Schwartz AEIOU Foundation, Devon Energy, and
Lyric Theater of Oklahoma, the official state theater of Oklahoma. It is with their support we are able to be here with you today.
And now we want to take a moment to introduce ourselves and answer any questions you might have about the Sound of Music or our lives as actors. So I'll go ahead and start. My name's Roberto and I'm from Norman, Oklahoma.
Hi there, my name's Kristen. I'm from Oklahoma City.
Hello, my name is Jordan and I'm from Moore, Oklahoma.
Hi guys, my name is Maddie and I'm also from Moore, Oklahoma. And this is our stage manager, Danny.
And I'm from Southern California, about 20 minutes from Disneyland.
All right, I think we have time for, what? We have time for 8 questions total today. So do we want to go down the line and then back again to get a little?
Sure.
All right. Does anyone have a question for me about stunt music? What it's like to be an actor? Anything? Let's see. What about I do like to see pockets and seats. I promise I'll see you if I see you. What about my friend who's sitting nice and quiet in that tan/beige sweatshirt in the very back row with the blonde? Did you forget it? You put your hand down. That's okay. Did you have a question right next to you, friend? Did we forget it? It's okay. If you remember it, just raise your hand on another question, okay? All right. What about, let's see. I think my friend in the black sweatshirt has had your hand up for a while. Yeah, what's up?
Did you guys have to go to college for this?
Oh, I see. We had 2 questions, but I'll answer your question too. So you do not have to go to college for acting if you want to be a professional or even a community theater actor. I was really blessed and was able to go. I got into a really good music theater program, which is what I went to school for. But that's also what I applied to go to school for. So I knew I wanted to train at a university that would give me a bachelor's in fine arts. So I could also get jobs in like liberal arts or administration. So I could also get sometimes big girl survival jobs that aren't just acting contracts. But you do not have to go to school to book any kind of professional gig or to just even do theater on the side. I have a lot of friends who are like school teachers and they do acting after class. I know people who are dance teachers or people, I used to work at the library and do acting after work. So you can really do anything you set your mind to, even if you just want to do it kind of for funsies on the side. But I think 3 of us went to school for acting specifically. Did you get your degree in acting, Jordan?
No, it was in their filmmaking production. I did their acting as my elective, but that's where I really got my love for it.
So Jordan went to school for film, and then Danny went to school for stage management. So you can do anything you think you want to. Now, what about my friend I originally called on? What was your question, my friend? So how many schools have we been to for this play? So we were actually in VC this morning, and then before that, we've gone to about 50 schools this school year. So we do about 6 schools a week. So we do 2 schools per day, 3 days a week. So I'll let you do the math. And we're not even the only bus doing it. We have a casting crew that goes out 4 days a week to 2 schools every day. So lots and lots of schools we get to talk to and hang out with. So, all right, Jordan,
I'll take a question now. Yeah. If anybody has a question, please keep those hands raised. All right, everyone's pointing at you. All right, what's your question, man? Did you forget it? What was that? You forgot? That's okay. All right. Anybody else? We got a few more raised up here. All right, someone over. How about you there in the gray? Yeah, you got the gray sweatshirt. You pointing at yourself? Yeah. How old was I when I started acting? I started off and on throughout my life and didn't start seriously acting until I was about in college. But when I first started acting, it was in a church production and I was the baby Jesus. So that's how old I was when I started.
All right, let's see. How about you with you have long red and white and blue stripe? Yeah. Do we work full-time? Well, we don't work full-time here, but I think most of us have another job at some point when we're not here. Like when I'm not working this gig, I work at an arts center. So it's kind of still in the realm of arts. Maddie works at a place that she's a barista, basically barista, baker, does all the things. And Roberto, you do all sorts of
I'm
things.
just doing this for now.
This for now. What a nice,
But
what a
yes,
nice
I did.
time.
I was a server last semester on the weekends.
Do you
So-
clock in what I was saying about the survival jobs?
Yes. Yes. thankfully, I don't think our survival jobs are too strenuous. I've had some very difficult other jobs in the past, so now it feels kind of like, okay, I'm doing things I want to do now, and life is good. Yeah, good question.
Cool. I'll take another question. What about you all the way in the back? The original names of the 7 children. That's an amazing question that I
I know one was named Agatha for his first wife, and then
We definitely
she
know there's
unfortunately
one
got
named
sick when she
Johannes.
was a baby.
we do have programs though with more information about the real life family.
I think all of them are in there. All the names?
I think so. So there's some programs that have more information about that. And if you want to know even more, you can go to your resource center and ask your librarian if he can help find you like an article about the families, because I'm sure there's a bunch of information about them out there.
Sure.
So,
Roberta, take one.
okay, I'll take one more question.
I think we have another one in the
These
back.
are good questions. I like hearing them.
About, is that camo? You wearing the jacket? The
Ooh,
ship?
the name of the ship, the captain.
So he was the pilot of what's called a U-boat. So it's a type of submarine, and I think it's some long German name. I
Oh,
don't know.
yeah, I'm like, that's another one.
Yeah.
But again, if you want to know more information about that, you can go to your resource center and ask your librarian if there's an article about that, because there is so much information about this family that
Yeah, there really
they were
is a lot.
famous. Well,
We can do 2 more questions, but
Sure.
we can do 2 more questions, but please relate them to acting if at all possible. Not that those aren't great questions, but we're
All
just
right.
a story.
Can I take the one from my friend in the back with you've had your hand up for a while in the black sweatshirt? In the very back with the big kids?
In the middle.
Uh-huh. In my opinion, do I think mayonnaise is an instrument? I appreciate your SpongeBob reference. I have to say you can make anything an instrument if you really set your mind to it. Fun fact.
Speaking of SpongeBob.
Speaking of SpongeBob, do you guys want to hear the show that I'm in right now? Super fun in Guthrie, Oklahoma. I'm going to be in SpongeBob the Musical. It's so fun. Yeah. If you don't know, if anyone at home, oh, you don't have to clap for me, thanks. But there's so many musicals and shows out there that you didn't even know existed that often pair with things that you like The Lion King, Frozen, Aladdin. What else? There's so many. SpongeBob, what? The Little Mermaid.
Beauty and the
Frozen,
Beast.
yeah. So, if you look a lot of times on Disney Plus or Paramount Plus and things like that, you can see live versions of these shows that you like that are actual musicals and stage productions just like this one. I think
I'll take one more if that's okay.
one more?
Yeah.
We'll take one final question.
How about you in the long white sleeves in the back on this side? Yeah, you just looked back. You have long hair.
do you like being an actress?
Do I like being an actress? I love being an actress. It's basically like playing pretend, and I get to do that for my full-time job. If you had told me when I was a wee itty-bitty thing that I was going to get to play pretend for a job, I probably wouldn't have believed you. But it's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. Work hard, play hard. Yes.
Well, thank you guys again so much for being such a wonderful audience. And before we leave, we have one more number. Are you guys ready? I said, are you guys ready? So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, good night. We hate to go and miss this pretty sight. So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, adieu, 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 to you and you and you. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.
Bye, you guys. Thank you.